don't you treat me this way. I'll be back on my feet someday. I don't care cause it's understood. You ain't nobody, you ain't no good, I guess.
Hi, my name is Tara Leah Rickson with Costa, Mesa Brief. We are here at Newport Beach, Buck Johns' residence, where they are having a Larry Elder rally. Larry Elder is looking to unseat Gavin Newsom as governor of California. And we're here to ask questions tonight, how people feel about the state of California under the leadership of Gavin Newsom and why people support Larry Elder.
Now, baby, listen, baby, don't you treat me this way. I'll be back on my feet someday. I don't care cause it's understood. You ain't nobody, you ain't no good, I guess. If you say so, I'm gonna pack my things and that's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Oh, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
What brings you here in support of Larry Elder?
Well, we're here first for the recall. The Republican Party is all about the recall in question one. And then I personally believe Larry Elder is the candidate to win in question two. We really need to have Republicans unify behind one candidate. You look at those polls, Fraith, who's that Democrat, is high up in the polls. I think Larry Elder is the guy that can communicate our message across all party lines and with people who don't normally vote with us to make sure that we win.
Sure. What is your biggest issue with Gavin Newsom?
Oh, I think the biggest issue is that he shut down this state for everybody but himself. You take a look at the French Laundry, you take a look at his kids going to school, you take a look at Napa still being able to do business when LA and Orange County can't be. It is all about him and his cronies, and everybody else can just sit and wait.
I was the one that sued to get the second lawsuit to get Larry Elder on the ballot against Shirley Weber, our Secretary of State. And not only did I win, Secretary of State was afraid we were going to sue for attorney's fees, and she has volunteered to settle it and paid all my attorney's fees. The Secretary of State has no right to keep a qualified candidate off that ballot. It's a constitutional right that we have, and she was relying upon an elections code that did not even apply.
What was the reason the woman did not want him on the ballot?
I don't know the real reason, but I can suspect the fact is that Shirley Weber was appointed to her position of Secretary of State by who? Gavin Newsom. And I think that was a political purpose, and I believe that they were afraid of the momentum that Larry Elder would ignite the people on yes on recall.
Why do you support Larry Elder?
Because anything else would be catastrophic. The other candidates are all right, but he's the most solid, the most qualified, the most viable, and fundamentally the most experienced. Newsom has no experience other than the fact that his aunt happens to be a lady by the name of Pelosi. You know, he has absolutely no experience, and you know, his management skills are actually, I don't want to use outhouse, but that's the word. It's absolutely catastrophic. And they continue the madness of the mask mandates that he's trying to reestablish, the incredible taxes that he's put on California, the gas tax, which is being squandered because the roads are still a disaster. You go down to 405, it's bad. You didn't mention real estate taxes, the LA County real estate tax situation. If you are a tenant, you're a protected species. But if you're a landlord, you're going to be evicted because they're taking your money away. And the extension of the moratorium for the renters, the tenants, it's been extended 3 times. Now it's going to be September 30th. So what do the landlords do? Are they going to get money from the federal government supporting them? I don't think so.
What is your biggest issue with Gavin Newsom?
Oh, for crying out loud. I used to work in Sacramento. I was 1 floor above him when he was lieutenant governor. I never saw him. I mean, he was just, you know, I could go from his supporting anti-independent contractor law to dealing with wildfires, dealing with poverty, dealing with the homeless. He's failed on so many fronts, and it is such a heartbreak. So yeah, it's a long list.
I'm Johnny Morgan. I'm president of the California Republican Assembly, or CRA, and we just recently endorsed Larry Elder for governor.
And why did you do so?
Well, the delegates did it. I support them, but they felt like he was the best candidate, and that he will bring about the changes and improvements in California's government that we need.
What is it about Larry Elder's character that you most admire?
Well, he's straightforward, okay, and he is direct, okay, and he goes right to the point, and he is effective in his presentations of his positions.
What, can you tell me, is the biggest failing of Gavin Newsom?
Him being elected. But no, his positions on everything, especially shutting down all of the businesses during COVID. It's just devastating to the economy, to the citizens, and to our way of life.
And how do you feel about him shutting down the schools?
Same thing. It's just terrible. It's so ineffective, so inefficient. No collaboration, no coordination with anybody who's going to be impacted.
Why are you supporting Larry Elder?
I think he's got the best credentials, got great name recognition. He's a former attorney, which doesn't hurt when it comes to legislation and understanding that. He's got energy. He has a human connection I've seen very few people have. He seems to, in his messaging, connect to the heart of people. And I think, in my view, he might be the one person that can unite parties as well. This is a state that's divided. I honestly think his nature is to connect and be able to pull people together.
What is it about Gavin Newsom that is your biggest issue?
Well, first and foremost, hypocrisy. Do as I say, not as I do. It's a little bit of an elitist approach because a lot of people that are suffering see him doing things that are opposite of their condition. I don't think that sets well for people at the bottom rung of the ladder as far as economics go. We have, honestly, the fires that some people argue is a byproduct of bad policy. We've lost lives. We came from a trip up in the Northern California area. I couldn't believe the amount of homeless shelter. The Los Angeles, we used to call interchange, you can't even get across the bridges because they're wall-to-wall tents. I think that's a very visual example of this beautiful Golden State that's been allowed to deteriorate to a level where it needs to get fixed.
Lived here all my life. I'm 85 years old. So I am a fifth generation Californian. I've seen this state when it was golden, and we're a long ways from that now, and we're going downhill. And unfortunately, we're the case study for the whole U.S.
Yes.
So I think he's just been incredibly damaging to the economy, not only through the COVID issues, but before that.
I followed Larry. I've been a radio advocate for 30 years. I believe in his ideology and know that he is a strong leader.
I have been listening to Larry since he was on AM radio. The first time I heard him, I loved what he had to say, and I agreed with everything. And I thought, this is a guy that I really enjoy listening to, and I've listened to him ever since. And so when he ran for governor, there was no options. It was absolutely amazing.
What is your problem with the biggest issue you have with Gavin Newsom?
As a contractor, I do not appreciate having to utilize union labor. The community workforce agreements that are being imposed on non-union contractors, I feel that is unfair. It is not a level playing field. We pay the same wages as the union contractors, but I should not be forced to get the not the best help that the unions are offering, and they will admit to that same thing. So I would like that gone, along with I'd need the homeless. I think that is an embarrassment to California. I came to California in 1983 with $100 in a backpack in my hand, and I loved it, and I love this state and this country. but things need to change, and I do believe that Larry can change it.
What is your biggest issue with Gavin Newsom?
Well, I think the way he's handled the lockdown is not only terrible, how he's handled the water issues in California is terrible. The fishing issues in Southern California with the fishing industry, terrible. He's unfortunately, I don't like to call names, but sort of a left-wing control freak, and we need a little bit more freedom in California, a little more liberty, and a little less governmental control.
California is on the abyss, and we need Larry's 5-point program of reducing the gasoline tax, reducing sales taxes, and getting rid of regulations. And he is the man to do it for us.
What is your biggest issue with Gavin Newsom?
Well, the biggest issue is that he seems to be wrong on every issue. So you give me an issue.
How do you feel about the homelessness?
The homelessness is an epidemic.
Crime?
Crime is through the roof.
Mask mandates?
Yeah, mask mandates.
Gas tax?
Gas tax. You know, to go to the football game, the SC football game now, you have to wear a mask. 100,000 people. And we have tickets for the kickoff game, and none of my friends want to go now.
Why do you hope that Gavin Newsom is recalled?
Oh my God, he's such a terrible guy. Well, number one, he supports abortion. I am pro-life, and I think that abortion is a crime, number one. Number two, he don't support choice schools. Number three, he's out with his friends, party all the time, you know, in this restaurant, while other people that really work hard and have small businesses, they have been closed because of the pandemic. That is not right. That means that he's an arrogant person, he's a narcissist, he's just all about himself. And we need a government that is for all of us, you know, that live in California.
What is your biggest issue with Gavin Newsom?
I think it's the economy. All of us want to come to have an American dream, right? The California dream. What is it? It's affordability, able to get a job, able to buy a house. You know, we work hard. That is what we always tell ourselves. We work hard and you can get something what you want to do. But the taxes is always ever rising. Look at our gas price.
I'm a fifth-generation Californian, and my state has gone to hell. I'm sorry, it has. Under Newsom, everything, I mean, we don't have any.
What is your biggest issue with Newsom?
Well, I run a charity for homeless veterans, so with me it's homeless. It's very terrible, you know. I've been doing it for 26 years, taking veterans off the streets, taking out over 8,000 veterans off the streets, but it's gotten worse since Newsom took over.
What do you think about all the money he pours into trying to fix the homeless crisis?
He's given it to bureaucrats. He's not giving it to the people like myself and the other charities and the churches who know how to get homeless people off the street. They never come and ask me how to do it. I know how to do it.
How does the homelessness in Orange County compare to Venice and LA?
It's pretty bad. It's not as bad as Venice and LA, but we're creeping up there. We really are.
What do you attribute that to? The local leadership or Gavin Newsom?
Gavin Newsom. Local leadership is doing all they can, but you know, Orange County is a giver. What do they call it? A giver county. We give the money to Sacramento, and we get a pinch of it back. But Larry has the answers to homelessness, and I'm so thrilled. That's why I'm on his team.
We're pro-life, you know, is one reason, you know, that we're pro-life. We believe in the defense of life from conception until natural death. And we know with Larry Elder that we have that support and that hope, and hopefully that change the state. And you know, and so that's you know, why we're here today.
Tell me, why do you dislike Gavin Newsom?
I don't have enough time to tell you everything, but you know what I don't like? I don't like the political corruption. I don't like the fact that he is shutting down our churches, our schools, our businesses, and the people have rights and liberties that he is not protecting. So we need to afford to live in California. I'm sick of watching the homeless die on the streets. I'm sick of our city and state being unsafe and the criminals having more rights than us. Are that enough reasons?
What's the biggest local issue for local cities, would you say?
Well, right now the governor is mandating housing requirements for the cities, and it's turning cities like mine, Huntington Beach, that are suburban communities, into high-rise developments, and we don't want that. We don't want to be East Germany. We want our freedoms. We want our country, and we need local control over all of those issues. And a one-man rule, which is what Governor Newsom is all about, is not giving us that freedom to have our local control. And that's what that means, and that's the biggest issue I see right now for the local cities.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Lyndon Johnson launched the so-called War on Poverty in 1965. At the time, 25% of black kids entered the world without a father married to the mother. 25%. And Obama once said, I love to quote left-wing people. You know who Obama is, right, guys? Obama said a kid raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. Today, the percentage of black children brought into the world without a father married to the mother is close to 70%. 25% of white kids now enter the world without a father married to the mother. Half of Hispanic kids enter the world without a father married to the mother. 40% of all American children enter the world without a father married to the mother. Now, what's happened between 1955 and now? What they've done with the welfare state is they've incentivized women to marry the government, and they've incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. By the way, when I've said that, the media leaves off the latter part. They've incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. So those of you from CNN, make sure you put the whole thing there. Gavin Newsom has finally started using the L word, Larry Elder, and has made all sorts of claims about what I would do to California. Oh my goodness, it's going to be Armageddon if I become governor. I'm going to roll back the clock. I'm going to reenact slavery. I mean, it's just stunning. The LA Times has done, I think, 3 hit pieces in the last week saying that I am the face of white supremacy. I may be a lot of things, but do I look like a white supremacist to you? Who knew? And the reason for this is because I've made the bold assertion that racism is no longer a major problem in America. And it isn't. They're scared. They are scared to death.